Okay, so here we are, Module 11 case study, Everyday Counts, 858 data analysis. Dr. Ryan Koharla, I'm Christopher Yates. Okay, so section 1, summary of the facts. Golden Oak High School, 965 students, 9 through 12 grades, highest rates of attendance historically. Recently we found that 85% of the population has missed 10 or more days. Local school policies are applied with personal discretion. What I mean by that is discretion of the teachers of whether they choose to report that or not. So policy is not followed on those absences. So they're not reported on a regular basis. We have 5 students that have missed 10 or more days in the first semester already. The alarming finding that I found was negligence of the staff to report and support absenteeism. And what I mean by that is if they're not reporting that, they're not doing their job, so they are supporting absenteeism at the same time. I'm going to hustle through because I maxed out my time. This is my second attempt. Thank you, by the way, for allowing this to happen. I'm on a VA program, and I have to pass this class. Section 2 is report any legal or ethical. So I've taken some notes along with this. So with legal, you missed 14 days during the first semester. That's what I meant to say on that first slide. I apologize. It was 5 or more 14 days. But the parens patriae, where the state can intervene and legality can follow. They can be arrested, they could be prosecuted, they could be fined. Truant officers already made home visits. The staff is clearly not following policy, and that could cost them their jobs. And what I mean by that, as far as being in the legal section, is that if they lose their jobs, then they challenge that this was the norm. It was okay for everybody else. We're only now following policy. We jump over to ethical. We have an 11th grade student that's married. Clearly had to have parents' permission to sign. Probably going to need some counseling there. Could be why she's missing. The stressors of being married recently and so young. We have a minister who's writing the absences, and we have teachers allowing that. Not a parent, not an extension of who is qualified to get an absence for the child. We have an athletic director who allows a student to have excused absence throughout the day, multiple days. So section 3 is synthesized. Attendance is affected by improper staff reporting, student bias, no parental oversight. And this has resulted in a historically low attendance rate that we've not seen before. The student bias, what I mean is, again, the teachers choosing who they mark and who they don't, who they allow to and who they don't, athletes getting preferred treatment, things like that. So here we'll go with people. 965 students in total. The population is become diverse. It is more, it has integrated Hispanic and Asian. We have experienced teachers, which is, you would think is a good thing, but what we might have is complacency with those teachers. And we have parents that are commuting up to 2 hours a day, so 4 hours on the road during a day. They don't have time to worry about things, is what it's coming down to. As far as the place, our demographics, middle income, average families. There's some poor, there's some rich, so average middle income. Again, the parents work in the metro area away from the school. It does say there's local industry and small business, so I'm going to say it's probably not a rural area, maybe more suburban. Their programs are grades 9 through 12, 11 different team sports, 31 clubs. That is an opportunity for everyone to find a reason to come to school, to be into something, to find something they want to do. And that's a biggie there. I don't ever remember having anything to that extent. So section 5 is review and prioritize the information. Could this situation be damaging to stakeholders of the community? Absolutely. This is one of those things that could be a slippery slope. I accidentally clicked that, but yes, to the damaging community. It's could be a slippery slope, 100%, and it's never good. What individuals have a stake in the outcome? Everyone. student, the parents, the community, the staff. If we look in the subtext, you'll notice that parents, again, are legally and ethically responsible for their children. The community, we're going to go through policing, we're going to go through court, we're going to go through probation, and we're going to have social outreach programs as well. The students, they're only cheating themselves. They're not learning, they're falling behind. It's never easy to catch up once things like that happen. The staff, I don't know if they were fed up with the prior administration, if the prior administration failed to deliver for them, but they're blatantly ignoring policy, and it's affecting their reputation as a staff as well as a negative outcome for the students. Has everyone involved been consulted? So, in the manner of speaking, but what they need to do is be brought together somehow, some way. Can I learn more about the situation? I need to learn more. Every student's got more to tell. We may not even be asking the questions. Do I know enough to make a decision with that student back then? It did mention that the counselor hadn't met with the parents, so we definitely have more to learn. Enough to make a decision. What I know is that there is a fault, and it lies with everyone involved. The parents are at fault, the students, maybe not the community unless the resources are there, but the staff, surely. The community may be the only one who's just going to be a victim here. There's more data required to begin working on a plan. Absolutely. The more data, the better. We know that. Is the present information valid and informative? It is. It's clear to, I don't know how valid it is where the teachers aren't recording, so I do see a little bit of invalidity there, but it's informative. So what we've got to do is prioritize what we need and work on that problem. Section 6 is identifying options and possible consequences. So with no action, that's where we are. That's why I'm being brought in to take care of this situation. The liberal action is we go back to that legality issue on this, and that is inform, not only inform, but enforce that legal doctrine. We report the students to the principal, who then reports them to the truant officer for an immediate action. And then it comes down to where a teacher is no longer given authority to excuse an absence, that it goes directly to the principal, taking away what authority that the classes had. An intermediate would be to enforce the policy that we actually have in place already for the reporting and the approval process both. And I think that you would need to reinform the students and parents that just give them a heads up that, hey, do you know they've missed this many? Do you know how many you've missed? They may not realize. I've actually received a similar letter, my wife and I have, for our daughters. And we did not realize that at one point they had missed like 3 or 4 days. It was during COVID. And so that was one of the issues, as they did have it. But it was still a shock when we saw that. Section 7 is evaluate your options. So, slide up here at least as possible. So, again, option number 1, no action. That's only going to result in a negative impact for everybody. Option 2, we may get some challenge from the parents on this, especially if we follow through with a legal issue. The students may feel like their parents might want them to do things and they're scared to, so they may have an added stress. And the staff's going to be required to do more and actually do the work they're supposed to. The intermediate would be to, again, retrain the staff on the policy. The problem with that is you're going to create another task for the staff when they have to report on and send out letters to the parents. So they may not like the added work. The best option, in my opinion, is right now the data shows the 5 students. Not really outside the parameters, but they were the most drastic that the case study focused on. And with 5 that you're really worried about out of 965, that's not bad. But if you look at the 85% then we could see that it is bad, but at the same time, we don't have proper reporting. So I think that the best option is to begin with the intermediate, get everything where it should be. Section 9, develop the plan. So give that notice to the staff. Let them know this is not a punishment. This is nothing that they've done wrong. It's everybody needs a clean slate. Let them know what's being performed. Let them know they can have questions, but we're going over the policy no matter what. And it needs to be a policy question. It doesn't matter what has historically been done. Someone will be placed in charge. You have to have a system of checks and balances because that's what got us here now. We're going to have a responsible party that will send that notice on to the parents. So that'll be a job that's going to have to be developed. We need to inform the school board of my intentions and the actions that I'm taking, and request both the board and the staff any input to help. The main important thing here is to reevaluate at each semester. We've got to see how we're doing, and we've got to see if what we're doing is working. We'll pop on to the very last thing here, and that is the standards. So as I put here, we just read this was the standard that was delivered on the case study. I would say that the well-being of the students and adults, both the parents and the teachers, and the steps to improve were given. As far as that is concerned, I've evaluated the data. I've developed 3 courses of action, advocated for my choice, and I intend to reevaluate at each semester and make changes if necessary. So I would say that overall, that this presentation has correlated specifically with the standard of the 6.2 in operations and management. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity.